64 retro gaming goodness.
God, your son, Ichi. Thanks for joining me, Bastish B, for Import City, a look at the world of 80s and 90s Japanese gaming. In particular, we're going to check out Japan exclusive games and English fan translations, and show some really fun stuff that require no Japanese to enjoy. If you like the Famicom, Super Famicom, Mega Drive, Mega CD, Saturn and PSX, then this may be for you. So now let's check out today's two games. Today we'll be having a look at Gamera 2000 on the Japanese PSX, as well as Godzilla Generations Maximum Impact on the Sega Dreamcast. And in the pop culture segment we'll be having a look at a brief history of kaiju movies and how they relate to today's games. Gamera 2000 was released in 1997 by Dai Digital Entertainment on the Japanese PSX exclusively. The game features Gamera, a sometimes bad guy, sometimes good guy kaiju monster. This game, however, is loosely based on the Gamera movie series from about the mid-90s to the mid-2000s, and features him as a hero helping to defend Earth against a full-scale alien invasion. As you can probably see, this game is a combination of two of my favorite games from the 90s, that being Panzer Dragoon and Wing Commander 3. And if you think that unholy union sounds like fun, then you are 100% correct.
Yes, sir!
As it manages to take the best of both games for an excellent on-rail shoot-'em-up / FMV action-adventure. The game's story is fleshed out through some of the best ham-fisted FMV this side of Surgical Strike.
Is that what we call Gamera?
That's right.
Which not only tells a story, but lets you investigate scenes and trigger events and conversations. The production values on these scenes are really quite good, and everything is in English from the dialogue to the menus, making it a perfect import-friendly game. The acting is insanely bad, with ridiculous dialogue and stilted deliveries, and by God, do I love it all.
The level of magnetism is getting unusually high.
I make no qualms about FMV games. Check out my Sega CD Top 10 FMV list for more awesomeness. And on the other side of the game is a brilliant ripoff of Sega's magnificent Panzer Dragoon. And damn, do they do a good job here. You get to ride in a spaceship for air missions and a hoverbike for ground attacks. You got your regular fire plus a lock-on Panzer multi-shot, which is actually Gamera firing his laser blast as he flies next to you as a sort of wingman. The game takes you all over the world with its 8 stages, mixing it up between air assaults, giant impressive boss battles, fast-paced hoverbike sequences, and brilliantly cheesy FMV cutscenes.
Lisa, I want you to ride the bike.
I can handle it. Trust me.
All in a neat little package. The graphics are extremely impressive with great looking 3D animation and stages that move at a really fast pace. There's some really good music tracks as well, supplied by Zuntata, Taito's in-house soundtrack team, who always deliver the goods music-wise. The FMV sequences give a nice break from the action, with choices you make affecting the type of ending you get as well. The PSX doesn't really have any type of this game in this style, especially this bizarre combination. And like I said earlier, this game is 100% import friendly, with dialogue and menus all in English, although you will still need a Japanese PSX to play it. This game was going to be released through THQ in the West, but plans fell through for that, which makes it one of the best hidden gem PSX shoot-'em-ups you're gonna find. Now let's switch things up with a brief history of Japanese kaiju movies. Kaiju is a genre of Japanese films dating back to 1954 with the first ever movie of the genre, Godzilla. Kaiju roughly means strange beast, and these movies usually comprise of giant monsters rampaging through major Japanese cities, destroying everything and battling other rival kaiju. 1933's King Kong by RKO Pictures is cited as the inspiration for this entire genre, even leading to the eventual co-production of King Kong vs. Godzilla in 1962. The monsters of these movies are usually victims of the humans' disregard for the environment or the results of military experiments gone awry. The human characters in these movies keep the message going as the kaiju add the spectacle. It's a formula that's been going on for decades and is still ongoing today, even though they have unfortunately traded in the tactile man-in-suit miniature approach for soulless CGI effects, which really deflate the fun of these movies, at least for me anyway. A rival Japanese film company, Kadokawa, came up with its own character in the 1960s named Gamera as a rival to Toho's Godzilla. Both have massive libraries of movies and literature to go along with, including today's two games. The kaiju style of movie making is also considered a subgenre of the Japanese tokusatsu style. Tokusatsu means special effects, so any movie or TV show that uses a lot of them is considered tokusatsu. The 1960s and 70s were flooded with these types of movies and TV shows in Japan, with programs like Kamen Rider, Ultraman, and Super Sentai, later brought to the West in the form of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. These shows were all variations on the kaiju cinema, with human heroes usually able to grow to gigantic size and fight kaiju or pilot giant mechs to fight humongous alien invaders. The first Godzilla video game ever released was on the Commodore 64, simply titled Godzilla, and was a strategy game where you had to stop the big green beast from reaching Tokyo by any military means necessary before he obliterates the city. Many more followed, including games on the Japanese MSX computer, the NES, and even 80s software house Epix licensing Godzilla for the inclusion in the C64's The Movie Monster game. These games all vary drastically in quality, but even so, playing them still usually brings a smile to my face even at the worst of times, which takes us to today's second game. Godzilla Generations Maximum Impact was released on the Dreamcast in 1999 and published by Sega, and is the sequel to Godzilla Generations, which came out a year earlier. Just like our previous game, this is not only an on-rail shooter, but also based loosely on the Godzilla movies of the past few decades, pre-2000s, and features Godzilla as your main character as he shuffles his way through levels, destroying everything and taking out the who's who of the Toho bad guy universe. I'm not gonna lie, this game is average at best and is no hidden gem. There was a reason it stayed a Japan only exclusive after all. Having said that, if you're a huge kaiju fan and just love absolutely mindless gameplay, then this is going to be right up your alley. The game claims to have a story mode, but it's almost non-existent and boils down to one gameplay style with two variations. The walking simulator stages takes Godzilla to his locations, and in these you rumble your way through various Japanese cities like Tokyo, Osaka, Okinawa, etc., and obliterate anything in your path, from tanks, planes, buildings, and famous landmarks. As you head to the local boss battle, you got a Panzer lock-on move which destroys multiple targets all at once, and a massive charge-up shot for mass destruction. Boss battles then pit you against a multitude of regular kaiju beasties, from Biollante to King Ghidorah and Mothra, etc., etc. These are kind of one-on-one arena smackdowns. The same gameplay is essentially in effect, just that you have full control now over Godzilla, including a dodge move that you'll definitely have to apply during the later boss battles to survive. The game is basically a rinse repeat of this formula with more cities and bosses to destroy, and is generally pretty easy game to get through. The graphics are okay, they are very dark and muted, and definitely doesn't show anything the Dreamcast was capable of. Music is pretty cool though, with Godzilla theme tunes and sound effects blasting all over the place, which is great for true fans of the series. Gameplay is generally quite clunky, with a dodge move that needs like 10 minutes pre-hit time to activate for it to work, and everything else is just kinda sluggish. Having laid all that wonderful praise on this game, I still find it kinda fun in a very mindless way to slap this in and destroy a whole bunch of stuff. If you're in the mood for it and are a massive kaiju fan, it's worth a look, obviously for cheap, and is another Western friendly import game, as all the menus are in English and the story is pretty much non-existent. So give the old Dreamcast a spin and go blast a kaiju in the face. And thanks for joining me, Bastish B at 64K. If you can like and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.